If you're out there looking and you don't know what your budget is, then you're always going to fall in love with something that you can't afford.
So our first question today is, Jackie, I don't want to pull my credit until I find a home and I'm ready to make an offer. Is that a good or a bad idea?
So that is a very bad idea. The reason being is because if a loan officer has not pulled your credit, then A, we don't know if you're even qualified to purchase a home yet. We also don't know if you can afford the home that you're looking at. I'm sure you can attest to this, as is always the case. If you're out there looking and you don't know what your budget is, then you're always going to fall in love with something that you can't afford. And that is never fun.
That is not fun.
So that is never fun. Now, by pulling your credit, we can see what your credit score is, which means we can see what is a viable interest rate for you, which will also tie into how much you can afford. It will allow us to get you an estimate on what your principal and interest payment is going to be. And then that is going to allow us to get you pre-qualified, send that pre-qualification letter to Courtney, your real estate agent. And so then you can actually go and start looking within your budget. Now, one good thing that we do at Rocket is initially we can only do a soft credit pull. Now, on our soft credit pull, we're still pulling your scores from all 3 bureaus. We're still pulling all your liabilities so we know what your debts are, but it won't be that hard hit to your credit. So for my buyers that are a little bit nervous about having their credit pull, I just say, listen, we'll just do the soft pull initially. Don't have to worry about the hard pull. We can do that further down the road. Now, I will say this, the only issue that can sometimes arise is eventually when you do find that home that you want to purchase, we would have to pull a hard pull. And if anything has changed on your credit report, or if your score has perhaps significantly dropped, that's the score that we have to go with. So if you're very serious about buying and you're ready, I would say within the next, if you're looking to purchase within the next 2 to 3 months, go ahead and let us do that hard credit pull. It's not going to have as negative of an effect on your credit score as some people think, as that stigma has always been taught into us. As long as you don't have multiple people pulling it, you're absolutely fine.
Jackie, why do I need to be pre-approved when I'm already pre-qualified?
So the difference between this is a really great question, actually. The difference between someone who's been pre-qualified versus someone who's been pre-approved, or what we call it in Rocket as a verified approval, is pre-qualified is basically I speak to the buyer and they tell me this is how much I make. They tell me this is how much I have in assets. So it's basically just stated information. So based on that stated information, I will run everything through my system to see if those numbers work. But if Mr. Buyer flubbed a little on his income, or maybe the amount of assets that he had weren't there at the moment, or something of that nature, then you're not actually ready to buy. And especially when it comes to income, because people are paid so many different ways nowadays. That's where it really comes into play. So a pre-approval or verified approval, again in our case, means that you've actually sent in documents. You sent in your income documents. You sent in your asset documents. And those have then, along with your credit, been looked at by an underwriter. And that underwriter has said, yes, 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 based on all of the documentation that they have sent in to me, you get a verified approval for X amount of dollars. It just makes, especially in this market, the difference between a pre-qualification and a verified approval. That verified approval holds so much more weight. It's going to give you so much of a step up when you're putting in offers.
sounds like being pre-approved actually gets you a step ahead of the competition, possibly.
It does, and with an underwriter already looking at all of your documentation, when you do find that perfect home, the process will be much more streamlined and you can actually close in a shorter amount of time, which again gives you a leg up when you're putting in your offers.
Fantastic. Jackie, what happens when I'm pre-approved on your side?
So it's actually it is a very interesting process. So we will issue you your verified approval letter, which means, again, an underwriter has reviewed your credit, income, and assets and said you're verified for X amount of dollars. We guarantee that verified approval with a few disclaimers withstanding when it comes to property taxes and things of that nature, which can vary from property to property. But we guarantee that we will be able to close your loan or we'll give you $1,000. You will be able to access your own Rocket Mortgage account where you can adjust the purchase price lower, not higher. Higher needs to go back to the underwriter, but you can always adjust it lower if you want, and you won't have to wait on me to print out any documents. Now, where that really comes in as an advantage is, let's say we've got a buyer who has a verified approval for a $400,000 loan. Or a $400,000 purchase price. And they found a home that is $400,000, but they want to maybe negotiate a little bit. They only want to put in an offer for $385,000. And it's a Saturday at 6 p.m. And they don't want to have to wait on Jackie. Well, you can just log into your Rocket Mortgage account. You can log into the Rocket Mortgage app on your phone even and lower that purchase price to $385,000. Generate a updated verified approval letter. This wraps up our Mortgage Minute with Courtney Williams and Jackie Sager. And if you would like to know more about Rocket Mortgage and want to start your home buying process, click the link below and we'll see you on the next episode.